Welcome to your September 22nd Monday Power Hour meeting with Carly and Clare Fulton. It's a lot busier here than I thought this would be last week, but that's a good thing. I guess we're just a week delayed. We've got 30 online and more people here in person, so that's good. Now we're finally back to school, I guess. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody's back to school. The kids are back to school and everything else, right? So. Yeah.
I have to ask though, what happened last week? Because last week felt weird. The energy felt weird. Nobody was here. Varan's event was amazing, so maybe all the energy was there at your event. That was awesome. But otherwise, it felt kind of quiet, no? So you guys tell what's happening.
Everyone's waiting for the next rate cut.
So the numbers I had, like the first 2 weeks in September were very strong compared to last year. We were cruising around 30% ahead of the first 2 weeks in September this year versus last year. Trev was about 31% ahead. And then last week, just backtracked. It just, for some reason, it just boom. And now if we're 5%, I've got the numbers here, but if we're 5 or 6%, how are we now from last month, from last year?
Down here?
No, for sales.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it's what, 18% right now. So it was cruising about 30%. So
no, it's even less here.
No, from last year. 10%.
Oh, I see it here. Yeah.
Up 10%, right? So it went from 30% to 10% above. But I know slowdown. You notice a slowdown. Nelson shaking his hand. Varan shaking his head on the mortgage side, saying that yes. And last week we had what? We had the interest rate drop. We had the CPI announcement last week as well. And the Americans had their CPI. The Americans also had their interest rate announcements too. I would have thought that it would have sparked something.
Do we set the bar too high?
But maybe not. So maybe this week it's going to pick up. So here we go. So we have to do it. We've still got 30,000 listings we have to sell. So.
It's curious though, because we had the rate decrease, and then Senex said, "Yeah, now everyone's waiting for the next one." Is that true? Like it wasn't exciting enough. Now we're like, that was cool, but we want another one.
So watching this guy in Fox News talking about the Americans. Americans, they dropped theirs by a quarter point. I do Fox News just because I can't believe that people are voting for that guy. But anyway.
the shock value.
And the announcer of Fox News says it was a puny reduction, didn't do anything. That was his word, puny. So that was so I can use that for Canadian one too. Canadian was puny. Does anybody know a quarter point? What is that? What does that do for the guy with the mortgage?
It's saying $15 for every 100 grand.
$15 per 100,000.
That's
right?
I don't know. That helps your monthly payment. No?
So if you got $1 million mortgage, your payments went down $150. Or let me redo that. If you have $1 million mortgage, I'll give you my condolences. Imagine having $1 million mortgage. That'd be way too much.
A lot of people have $1 million mortgage, Claire.
All right, so I'll get
more than $1 million.
Yes.
More than $1 million.
Yes.
Okay, so
and even the houses could be worth a lot less than that too.
So last week we had the Mike Ferry. Did anybody do the Mike Ferry event?
I think we all held out for Varan's.
And then Varan had his event in Ajax. Do you want to describe it?
Yeah, we had one sacrificial lamb that went to the Ajax Convention Center. We knew one person was going to do it. It was Omar, one of our new agents. But he wasn't the only one, for sure. He was with other realtors trying to open the door. But we made it to Durham Convention Center. It was a stunning venue. Really nice, brand new, right? Really nice. You had Sherry Cooper. You had a panel of lenders and different economists, and then you had Daniel Foch from talking a little bit about AI, and David Greenspan.
They also have a whole Land Rover show.
I think was that the most exciting part for you, the Land Rover cars? Those were pretty exciting. That was a pretty good clientele for them to do an event like that. Why not inspire some luxury cars? They had a $300,000 car there, lots of cars.
The guy asked, how much do you think this car is worth? And we gave a number, and he said, no way, 100,000.
Yeah. Those were fancy cars. That was meant to inspire you to start doing the deals.
That's the whole point.
Right, I know.
So is that format the same size as the Ajax Convention Center, or is it larger?
Way bigger.
Way bigger. Okay, and it's but the same neighborhood. It's on Beck Street, right?
Literally next block.
Next door. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually had someone standing there to read the people. You had no idea.
That's okay.
Oh,
yeah, it
just
happens.
because you knew it was going to be a problem,
I
right?
sent someone there.
Yeah, that was the thing. But we had a lot of Percy Fulton agents there. I was pretty impressed. I must be at least 30 of us or more. I know we had 4 full tables, and then I saw everyone else kind of scattered around. So that was kind of fun to see everybody there.
So what was Sherry Cooper's message?
Her message was,
I didn't listen.
oh yeah, for networking.
didn't.
There's some quite shocking stats. Do you guys remember what she was talking about? She talked a lot about the tariffs and trade, and a lot of her messaging was that actually the U.S. is going to hurt a lot more than we are, because we're just going to divert. Like, China's already spending more on oil with us versus the U.S., and so it was the U.S. that was going to hurt a little bit more than us. The most shocking thing for me, though, and the most disappointing was Canada's productivity. Did you guys see how low that was compared to other countries in the world?
Yeah.
We're really low. Our productivity was like triple lower than other countries. That was really alarming. I don't know if that's because the pandemic and the lockdown really screwed everybody up and got everyone comfortable, or we're just not working the same, but that was a really shocking
Working
stat.
from home.
Yeah.
Is that why they're asking everybody to work,
It
come
must
back
be
to
because the
work?
productivity is really low. I was quite shocked, actually. Yeah, it changed my perception a little bit on the work from home. I think people do need to get back to work because something's got to give. Yeah, we have so much opportunity, right, and we're just not taking it.
But
So
on the positive side, she did say that they predict a strong fall market,
yeah,
which is good.
yeah, exactly. She's thinking that other foreign investors are going to look to Canada now as opposed to the U.S., and that's a good thing. But definitely our areas like Hamilton, anywhere where there's car manufacturing, they're getting hurt a little bit right now too. But yeah, she was much macro, like very macro level economics, right?
I was shocked to hear we lost 70,000 jobs in the last quarter.
Last quarter alone,
A lot alone.
a lot. Yeah, unemployment's high right now. Yeah, you have some articles, I'm sure, on that. But
Does anybody know anybody in the construction business?
like have clients, or
And is that construction business, like I was reading that they're predicting by 2026, not this year, but 2026, they're going to lose 40,000 construction jobs because of no work.
400,000, I thought, no? 40,000?
I read that a lot.
I've heard 40,000.
Okay.
40,000 construction workers in GTA.
Okay. So that's pretty alarming.
Sorry, what'd you say? Sorry.
I said, I read that a lot of people have been backed off.
Laid off. Yeah.
Laid off? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, gone back to their countries or.
Okay, yeah.
It's funny how the whole world's changing. I've heard IT guys are losing their jobs to AI. And I don't know anybody personally, but that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Daniel Thotch talked a little bit about that.
And it's funny how the world order's changed. Eh? The Americans decided that they're going to charge these guys. If you want to be an AI guy coming from India or China, what place they want $100,000 per year just for the work permit.
Or you get the Trump gold card.
Or if you come with $1 million, you get it in for free, right?
Gold and platinum, 2 cards.
Platinum, yeah, I forgot about the platinum card.
There's gold and platinum or something.
Yeah, 2
Scheme.
Platinum is better than gold, right?
1 million and 2 million, and 100,000 for H-1B visa
Yeah.
for the IT guys.
And they're saying that the biggest consumers of the foreign workers, the temporary workers, is Amazon and Tesla and all the high tech companies. So now they're going to have to pay $100,000 per employee. I wonder how that's going to affect them too, their bottom line, right?
It will.
Yeah, I guess I know what they're doing. They're trying to get
People
people.
may be lucky. They may open up an office in India.
They may be working
They can
offshore.
do
Yeah.
Back home.
Somebody said to me that the only reason why, I don't know if it's true or not, it's just they're saying that the American high tech stuff is so strong because of this cheap lever. But once they start putting the $100,000, they start building it in China or in India. They don't have to build it in the U.S. anymore. So they're just gonna say, okay, fine, you don't want to hire us, we'll stay here and we'll make it here. We'll develop our own Apple, our own stuff. So that's the double-edged sword they got to be careful with, right?
Because of Trump's policies, every other country, they are getting more stronger and they are developing themselves.
Canada's doing the same thing, like
Yeah.
like Canadian aluminum.
You also have to do same thing.
Yeah.
Aluminum, for instance, I don't understand, but the thing with the climate change, you have to buy carbon credits or something there, or if you're buying aluminum from, let's say, China or something there, and China has like a carbon number of, let's say, 20% or something on it there, and the Canadian carbon level is like 1.8. It's like it's quite a bit different. So they'd rather pay more money to buy the Canadian because of the carbon credit they get versus paying for the China stuff with the high carbon rate. So you understand what I'm saying? So Canada has another market, even though U.S. is charging more money for the steel and the aluminum. There's a new market opening up for raw materials. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
right?
and Sherry talked a little bit about that. But yeah, I felt the event overall was high energy. I felt agents were a little bit more positive than like last year's events, for example. So I thought that was good. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but it was nice to network and see people talking to each other and mingling and sharing, and nice to see people in Durham too.
And did Dave Greenspan, did he talk about his farming stuff and that? And,
Mindset. Mind share, right?
Mind share and farming and just attitude and that. So
Yep.
we've been showing some Mike Ferry stuff here in the mornings. If you're not here, then you can certainly watch that at home. It's not proprietary at all. But they're talking about how to generate business. So this woman here just showed a whole bunch of things, what she does, sends out letters to farm areas and social media, blah, blah, blah. So it's something you might want to think about. Farming is still, I think, that you want to have that on your pillar. Mm-hmm. That's the direction I'm heading towards there. But
Yep.
anyways.
Yeah. Did anyone run open houses this past weekend?
I did.
Yeah? How'd it go?
I did an open house Saturday on my, I have a bungalow up in North Oshawa, 2+1.
Okay.
I had 6 groups of people come through, none with agents,
Okay.
which was, I was happy for, but surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 neighbors. One of them actually came in because she has a friend whose father needs a bungalow and she's looking for that friend. And 2 first-time buyers.
Okay,
None
nice.
agents.
Nice. 6 groups through, mostly non-agents for those at home.
None
Yeah.
agents,
Brand new listing or no?
No, it's not well, the listing is new, not a brand new home. It's 22 years old.
Yeah, but the listings are
It's
new.
bungalow. So
Yeah.
that is catered for a particular style of
Yeah.
buyer.
Yeah.
A bungalow, but it's really nicely done.
Yeah.
$795
Okay.
market value.
Good.
Chad had 34 top pattern.
Mm-hmm. 34 Topham, East York.
18 groups.
18 groups. Wow.
Half neighbors. Couple of contractors in the area.
Neighbors, contractors, people. That's pretty busy.
Does everybody feel here that the market seems to be picking up other than last week I just talked about?
Not sure it's on mine. See if Chad let us know how much that one was at
I feel like he's
Topham.
holding back. I want to say $799, $899 with holding back.
Maybe, yeah. Holding, yeah.
899.
Oh, it's over here.
I feel busier other than last week. So last week's confusing me a little bit, but my phone's been very busy with agents and clients and yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know. I still feel positive vibes. That's all I'm thinking.
I do too.
Other than last week again, but
last week, so everyone enjoyed the weather.
could have been the weather, maybe.
Just
I don't know.
like lingering, hanging on to it a little bit. Last days of summer, kind of.
Last little bit of sunshine.
Yeah.
It's just some fun stuff. Misery loves company, right?
Why?
Why is misery love company? I have no idea.
Human
right?
nature.
My famous property here in 36 Charlotte.
Can someone else please just give him a call? It's just listless thing.
He listed originally, I think he paid 600 and something for it. He had it listed for 600 and something, 700, 800, back to 400, whatever it might be. Now he's sitting at 999,000. It's been there for 263 days now. So that's
It's a decent strategy. If it's not luxury, you make it look luxury by setting the price at a luxury price.
right. So yeah. So he's still.
It's got to do something.
And how about this guy here? This one here that somebody showed this to me there. I don't understand it there. What's
This
going on?
is all over social media right now too. Yeah.
Social media. This guy on Bay Street, which is next, it's Bay Street north at, I guess, Bloor Street, Manulife building around there.
Like nice area. Yep.
Guy in, I don't understand. It's a 2,400 square foot condo, so it's big. The guy bought it in March, closed in May. Yeah, he he bought it in March, closed in May for 3.15 million, right? Put it back on the market, sold it again, put it back on the market in September the 4th, sold it on September the 15th. So again, he bought it in March and put it back on the market in September. The guy tried to flip it, but he paid 3.15 and he flipped it for 2.35.
That's how you look at it. That's so nice that you look at it like that.
Well, how do you look at it?
I don't know. I mean, we're too naive for this kind of stuff.
So he flipped it. He flipped it for $800,000 loss. I don't understand.
Like I said, our brains are too naive for these schemes.
What's that? What's that show that it's a write-off?
Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
Oh.
I knew the name. I didn't want to say it.
It's a tax write-off. Well, it's just write-off.
It's a write-off. It's a write-off. $800,000 write-off, and I don't understand that part. Anyways. Move on.
our regulatory boards are going to be very busy over the next couple months, I think. So. Do you want to jump into stats?
So
or-
stats, yeah.
Yeah. Or you want to finish off your latest soap opera too before we...
Okay, let's get rid of the soap opera. If anybody's...
Are you guys interested in the iPro stuff? Like, are you on like Reddit like I am and like midnight? Looking at like trying to figure out like the why. I mean, more and more is coming out now, right? We have way more details in the past week than we did before in August. So
So they got 2 lawsuits going on there. They got one that Rico's taken to court, plus an ex-manager's taken him to the court.
he's an investor.
The ex-manager saying that they took the money and they spent money on proving cottages up in Lake Simcoe, and his wife's apparently taking money and blah, blah, blah. And now Rico's coming up with their preliminary thing saying the guys moved $30 million from the trust account. Used to be, what, 10 million, then 8 million, and then 3 million. But they're saying here that when they walked in May, it was $10 million. And then they sold the company to a company called iCloud.
Like somebody bought this company, by the way.
For $3 million.
Somebody gave them $3 million. Like yes, that's
For the company.
for the.
And they took that money and reduced the rather than being $10.5 million short, they're $8 million short. So they took the $3.5 million and paid off the debt. The Rico registrar got fired for doing all this stuff because he decided not to sue them for anything. Now they're saying $30 million is diverted from the trust account, and they've been doing it now for more than they've been doing it for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So this didn't happen right away.
It can't. It couldn't have happened overnight. There's no way that you would disperse money like that very quickly. Of course, it took
the only
years.
way I can read it is when they say that they removed $30 million. I think they might have removed, let's say, $2 million in 1 month and $2 million the next month, and then the next month, and it added up to.
Yeah, so maybe it's not cumulative.
It wasn't a one-time shot, and I think they probably
Yeah.
returned money as well. Took money out, returned money, blah blah blah. But I can't believe that the registrar wouldn't take it more seriously and charge these guys.
Yeah, that's the.
Hey, you know something or?
Yeah, so the seller's deposit, like let's say the seller gets deposit from the buyer, how much of it is protected in the trust account?
Okay, so the question is the consumer deposit. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. The insurance for the consumer, insurance for your commission is $4 million max, and that gets split amongst everybody.
So overall is
It's $4 million max.
Even if they have $1 million deposit of the.
Yeah. Yeah. So if there's $8 million missing from the, let's say it's commission from the real estate trust, that means you're going to get 50 cents. It's $4 million, $8 million missing, $4 million is the max, so it's 50 cents on the dollar, right? But when it comes to consumer trust, I'll ask you the question here just so everybody understands what I'm saying. When you give a deposit, the deposit goes into which account?
Trust.
Brokers trust
There's two trust accounts.
Two trust accounts.
There are 2 trust accounts.
Brokers trust.
Broker trust.
I just took my real estate update course. Who took the real estate update course recently? Nobody? Okay. Anyways, doesn't matter. Real estate trust account. All right? So when you give a deposit, it goes in the real estate trust account. When this deal closes, that money gets transferred from the real estate trust account to the commission trust account.
Oh, so there's 2 trust accounts.
All right? And there's money missing in both. But understand what I'm saying here. So that money, even though it's in the deposit, if there's excess deposit, in other words, there's a $100,000 deposit and there's a $50,000 commission, then that $50,000 will go into that pool of $4 million. The other $50,000 goes to the commission trust. So it doesn't belong to the buyer or seller anyways.
But what I'm confused is that I understand that there's a limit to, like every dollar they get 50 cents now.
Yeah.
But let's say me as a seller, if there's so much money has to be divided between the people that they lost, what would happen to my money as a seller? Like,
So let's say the deal closes, right?
Yeah.
That money doesn't belong to the seller anymore. It belongs to the commission trust. Belongs to the agent.
So the deals are still closing.
Deals are still closing. They don't need that deposit money to close a deal.
They don't need it, but let's say the house was $10 million, 5% of $10 million is a large amount, so that amount has to be still transferred back to the.
So I'm saying, so if there's more money than commission, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so if they gave more than 5%, yes.
Then if there's more money than commission, then it goes in that $4 million pool.
But typically you're doing 5% deposits, unless you're really trying to be competitive and compete, you're not really doing more than 5%. Right?
Like it's very rare.
In today's market.
You know, very rare is there, we're always expecting more money from the seller than what the deposit is.
Yeah.
So once the deal closes, that money just goes into the commission trust and the consumer's protected.
So the consumers are okay for deals closing, but your commissions are what's at risk to be split amongst
The commissions
claim.
themselves are going to be a problem.
About the amount that is in excess of the HST.
That's also, yeah,
commission.
that's at risk too.
Then
Back to the
that money's in trouble. That's what I'm saying. Any excess of deposit, that money's suspect. Yeah. But I can't imagine the Ontario government, I can't imagine RICO, or I can't imagine anybody letting anybody get hurt. The consumers get hurt.
I have not heard of a single deal not closing
Yeah,
as a
no.
result of this. I have heard thousands of people not getting paid commissions, agents-wise. They're not getting paid, but the deals are closing because the money's, it's not needed to
so
close the deal.
so the consumer, I believe, doesn't have anything to worry about. It's the realtors themselves. And what I'm reading too, they're saying there's enough money to pay them too. So we'll just have to see. There's supposed to be a report.
There is enough to pay commissions.
The people that are going to be hurt are the commission trust and the agents, right?
It's certainly going to take a lot of time too to settle it all.
Yeah, this is not going to happen overnight. So.
Yeah. So you're aware of our process too when we're paying out commissions, because we have more deals that we're paying out to than what they're paying to us. We mail it to RICO. So we prepare the check to iPro, it gets mailed right to RICO, and then they're going to be handling the disbursement of it.
But doesn't the account on a monthly basis has to be audited by RICO?
Yes. Well, you're not audited by RICO. You do monthly bank reconciliations, but no, the RICO audit's only every 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it's not always every 5 years, right? It's when they deem when you need to be investigated. So. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a shakeup for real estate for sure.
And just so you know, I mean, I personally have to sign off what they call reconciliations every month for the trust accounts.
Yeah.
So every month I have to sign reconciliations. Everybody know what reconciliation is?
Now you're getting into accounting language. Now we're going to really confuse people.
Just write it.
Write it off?
Just write it off.
No, you write checks, and then you go in there and you find out which checks are written and which ones are haven't been cashed yet. And just reconcile, just like you would your own personal account. But I have to sign off on it, and brokers that have had inspections not signed off, and they get fined $3,000 every time they didn't do it. So there's consequences.
Mm-hmm.
What a shame, eh? Anyway, so September 21st. That reminds me something. It used to be September 21st was the beginning of fall, but not nowadays. Nowadays it's something different, isn't it? When I grew up, it was always the 21st of every quarter, but now
It's pretty close based on the moon, I think, as well. It should be still today, yeah.
it's today. So I was taught right. Okay. Sometimes it changes. Okay. So
The market's screwing us up.
So we got 30,343 active listings. We came in the month with something like 27,000. So we've actually increased the inventory almost 10%. 17,000 freeholds, 12,000 are condos. Vacants, there's 33% of the property right now is vacant. 27% of freeholds are vacant. 42% of condos are vacant. We know that. Sales from last year were up about 10% across the board. Both condos and freeholds up about 10%. Actually, condos are up 9%. Freeholds are up 10%. Sales over 101%, so over asking. About 18% of the properties are selling for over asking. So if some people are doing a hold off offers and see what they can do, then you got about a 20% chance of it succeeding. Right. So
Are the chances better if you?
20% of the properties are selling for over asking,
Which means 80%.
which means
are
80%
not.
are not. So to answer your question, I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
These are what price range are they?
Don't know.
Just overall.
Just overall.
Anything that's sold for over the asking price.
Just overall. But it does work. So as long as you got the strategy, if you're going to price it, some guys will take a $900,000 condo and price it at $850 and hold off offers. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be
Right.
confusing.
So you got to price it at like $550 or $600 or something there to try to generate multiple offers. You really got to make it obvious. Last September we had 5,100 sales, so it's really not a whole lot. Daily 172. If we project for September, we're going to be about 5,200 sales for the month, which is not big, it's not small. It's kind of just keep your head there, right? Months of inventory almost 6 to 1. So, Mr. Seller here, your property has a chance of 1 in 6 in selling right now. So, if you want to be the 1 in 6, you got to make sure that you price it right. Compared to August, first 21 days in August, we're actually up 4% from the first three weeks in August versus the first 3 weeks in September. We're actually up 4%, which is good. On the lease side, leases are 16,000. So it used to be at one time, wasn't there more sales than? No, more leases than listed inventory? Anyway, so it's half now. 16,000 active leases, 8,000 freehold, 8,000 condos. Vacancy rate for leases are 52%. Leases themselves are actually up 23% from last year. So September is actually stronger than September last year, and although it's down 25% from August.
The stat you're thinking is there's actually more leases made than sales made, and that's still happening right now. Like if you're projecting only 5,200, we're already at 6,300.
Okay, so there's half as much lease inventory, and there's more leases done than sales.
Yeah.
Interesting. And again, from August, it's down 25%. Why is it down 25% from August over September? Because August would have been all the students moving in for September school. And we saw that too. Our August here was a zoo here, so it was just nuts. So that's okay. So, I mean, the market's, it's not booming, it's not crashing, but it's trying to find its way, right?
Yep, we had the nice little rate break this week. Did you guys advertise that on social media, or how did you communicate it with your clients? Were they paying attention themselves, or you're nodding, Celine? How did you communicate it?
I put it out on social media.
Social media? Did you do like a video, or what did you do?
Yeah, and people paid attention.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But I also found even like doing the open house and doing some follow-ups, a lot of the first-time buyers are still waiting for another decrease.
Interesting. And
It was.
and are they waiting for one more? Are they what are they waiting for?
Because they're projected that it's going to fall even further, so
Yeah.
they're still waiting.
Okay. I am reading too, this article talks a little bit about the psychological barrier, and that psychological number for these buyers has a 3 in it. And so this week's rate cut brought some of it down to just 3.95, but I think psychologically they're waiting for like that 3.7, 3.5, where psychologically that's where it was in the previous 5 years, and I think that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for that number to show 3 point something. That 4 is not working for them yet.
I did
So-
get a few calls on this, and what surprised me as well, and again for Annie, is that some of the first-time buyers have not gotten themselves qualified. They're looking. Like 2 of the buyers that came to my open house, first-time buyers, they're not mortgage approved.
Do they think that if whatever they get approved for, they have to stay and it doesn't get reduced? Like I wonder if they're waiting to get the approval that's in line with the rate. That's interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't think they're knowledgeable enough to know.
I think so too. I think we need to educate them. That's why I was talking about the home buyers benefit program, the pre-approval process, the cash flow, the budget, what's required, because I think they're still scared. I think there's lacking education. And you might think that by posting on your social media, even the rate cut is repetitive because you yourself see all the agents posting, but you have to remember your clients aren't following 100 agents like you are. They're only following you. So only your client's going to see that. They're not going to see what you see on your profile. So don't hesitate to post stuff just because you think it's repetitive for the client, because they probably will only see it from your page, right? But yeah, I think education is really key. At the open houses, talk to them, get them to feel comfortable.
Correct, because
Yeah.
I had Varan's mortgage breakdown at the house.
Yeah.
I did give out a couple. But I found myself having to explain to them, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not my portfolio. Could you just give this guy a call?
That's true. So that must be helpful having the mortgage person at an open house as
Yeah,
well, right?
definitely.
So you can do that too. Yeah. Do you get the same kind of questions, Ryan? Like they're confused, they don't understand our first-time buyers?
First time buyers,
Yeah, always. Yeah.
always a lot of education.
Yeah. So what can we do to overcome that? Same thing, Sandeep? But
No, see, I try to tell people that, see, there is a new first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
By the time we start showing the property and they put the offer, at least 2 months, 3 months journey.
yeah, for
And
sure.
by the time they put the offer, it get accepted. By the time they close it, it's another 2 months minimum.
Yeah.
So technically, they get 4 to 5 months.
Yeah,
From the day they start the
minimum.
journey.
Yeah,
I
so
tell
we're
them, by that time, you will get one or two more rate cuts. 45%.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're talking about the journey of a buyer, right? It takes 2 to 3 months to start shopping, another 2 to 3 months to actually put an offer in. And in that time, rates could actually be going down. So don't wait till they go down and then you're chasing it with everybody else. Let's get the journey going now because it's going to take some time. You might do an inspection. I'm seeing people back out of their inspections now. That is part of the education process, and that takes some time too, right? Got to get their deposit back, try again. So I think that's a good point. The journey takes a long time. Start now. Yeah, so I think they're waiting for this 3 point something. I think between 2009 to 2020, that's typically what it was, and that's sort of the rate that people, I think, feel comfortable with, and that's sort of what they're waiting for to come again. And they're predicting if they come down one more, maybe people will come back again. But when's the next announcement?
October 21st.
October 21st, so a whole month till then that we'll have to wait for.
Everybody do that Treb dinner there the other night?
Oh,
Yeah,
how was it?
very nice.
Yeah?
Well organized.
That's nice. How many people?
I think there were 6 of us there.
And how many people total, though?
I would say probably 550.
Wow.
How many? 550?
I think more than 800.
Really?
Not 550.
Sorry?
More than 800 people was there.
So I'm still confused who gets invited. Who gets invited?
A lot of people were not invited.
Oh,
Why didn't you show up then?
Well, yeah. The
They were-
didn't get invited, shouldn't get invited.
Did you
When
guys
I was-
go?
When I was there, when I registered,
Did you
next
go?
to me was a
I didn't
fellow
go. Sorry, interrupted.
So there was a fellow next to me, Chinese fellow, senior, and he said, I'm sorry I didn't get the invitation. He says, I'm here, I deserve it.
Yeah.
Because my name is Jimmy Lee, I was the president of the board.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get it? I said, well, I'm sorry, sir. She says,
How would
"It's
they
not my
know?"
fault." Yeah.
Yeah.
I called 2 or 3 times because I haven't received it.
Yeah.
Good.
I returned my call. I kept on emailing it, and then I finally got it without response, and I had no personal response.
I know Jimmy Lee, so yeah. So they wouldn't let Jimmy Lee in?
Sorry?
They wouldn't let Jimmy Lee in?
Well, they did.
Oh.
But he says, I don't
but he had to come and
He's
demand.
the past president.
He says, I'm here, I'm going in.
Yeah, so something's wrong with their communication or their dates, the database is something off because it should be pretty.
So I thought maybe that the first time you were 25 years and the first time you were 50 years, not every year since. But anyways.
My understanding is that you get, once you turn 25, each subsequent years you'll be getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the 25 and the 50 is highly recognized.
So just for those that don't know, you don't have to pay your TREB dues once you've been with a TREB member for a certain period of time.
Really?
Like how many years?
50.
You got excited, Aiden. He's like, yeah.
I had to pay you for that question, right?
Wait, so that's not a rule?
It is 50 years.
50
years.
50 years, all you have to do is pay your life insurance. You don't have to pay your TREB due.
50 years I would be dead.
So you're 50 years now, huh?
Who, me? No. I'm not 50 yet. Elio's 50.
Elio's the food good?
You was 50?
Elio and Ron Foster. Ron Foster's 50.
2 years ago, Ron Foster was 2 years ago, and I was last year.
So I only have to work 33 more years.
Which
I'm out, man.
you're done?
So what did they do there? Just dinner, or they have like
Yeah, there
a?
was no band. Yeah, my understanding is that they had live band 2 or 3 years ago. Last year they had just a DJ. This year, no.
They used to have I thought they used to have Circus Soleil, or like they had like a show or something one time.
Who paid for this?
You did.
2 years ago, $300.
Wait, what was for dinner though?
Great dinner.
Great dinner?
Oh, amazing.
You're saying no?
He's like, no, he liked it. Were you guys at the same?
No, I didn't find the way it was last year.
You says it's good,
Well,
it's
maybe
good.
the vegetarian, I don't know, but
True.
the normal, it was good. He had all kinds of veggies, Cornish hen, and then he also had an option of corned meat or roast beef. Yeah, but very tasty.
Very
Well, you got
nice.
to do your own advertising for it then now next
Also,
year.
prior to they had all kinds of cold cuts and what have you prior to the meal.
Like anti-pest.
And
That's
antipasti.
nice.
And during the lunch or during the dinner, do they just introduce people that have been like long-term service to the board, stuff like that, like Pat, like
I
yeah.
wasn't there, I had to take a couple of calls, but I heard from the hallway that maybe 25, 30 people that were
Recognized for your volunteering and stuff like that, right?
Open bar?
So you would have gone up.
They probably gave you a couple of bar
Important
tickets.
question. Important question.
Open bar?
No, you had one ticket, and then of course, if you wanted extra, you had to pay for it.
No good deal.
Christmas party.
So Bank of Canada cut their rates. So what does that mean to you guys? So we already said that 15%, or sorry, a quarter point drops about $15 per $100,000, which is not the end of the world, but psychologically, I think it's something, right? Hey, the rates have dropped, something's dropped. So we've got Van here now. So variable rate mortgages are the mortgages that get affected by rate drops and by bond rates.
Yeah.
Right, and bond rates, my understanding, because of the job situation and the economy is such, bond rates are actually weakening, which would then weaken the 5-year rate.
Yeah.
So even though we had a quarter point, which will affect the variable rate, I think the fixed rate's probably already been dropped, so they're probably the same.
They're so close.
So I'm just guessing here. So what can you get a variable rate mortgage for, and what can you get a 5-year fixed?
So 3-year fixed, we were getting 3.69.
3.69 on a 3-year
3-year. And a
fixed.
variable, we were getting prime minus 95 on an insured deal. So that put you at 3.75.
3.75. Okay.
So if you have one more rate cut, you have 3.5.
So 3.5. So
And that's something I think people are waiting
As of
for
right
that.
now, you can get prime minus 95,
and the prime is what now?
4.7.
Okay.
So these rates that you say, is it investment property? It's not going to be.
It's not an insured mortgage. And an uninsured probably like 10, 15 bits higher.
And if it's investment uninsured, then it will be.
There will be again another 0.5%.
So like 4 point something.
Yeah.
So I'm speculating that the rate decrease helped everybody that had a mortgage right now. It helped with their cash flow. But anyone that's trying to get into the market, I think they're still waiting for one more.
Well, that's a first-time home at 3.69 buying a $400,000
I know.
condo, $450,000
Well, like Sandeep was saying, it's going to take
mortgage.
6 months to get into the process anyway. So by the time October comes around, you might as well get
That's
started.
Why
Yeah.
first-time home buyer, like wait till before 30 days, 50 days before closing to choose a product.
So how do you explain to somebody that these rates are actually not so bad compared to where we've been in the past? Like, how do you educate them? Like, yes, they're not
There's
bad.
an announcement that they're anticipating it will drop a lot more before the end of the year. That's right.
So then, as soon as they see that, they're gonna wait. Because I see it. They're in no rush right now. They don't have FOMO. They're in no pressure. They're happy to lose that house, wait for the next one, even if nothing's available on the market. They think it's gonna pop up. So now they're gonna see headlines like that, and they're just gonna keep waiting. So I think the only thing we can keep doing is keep educating them and keep moving forward, keep them part of the journey. Don't pressure them. Be available for them, and move along the same pace that they're going with.
What, question for him, one. In terms of appraisal of these new condos, and those certain banks only offer like blanket appraisal, well, what do you do if they don't qualify for that certain bank? Like, what other solutions do you offer?
They are getting, if they own other property, most of my investors, they're taking a second mortgage or they're refinancing the other home for the down payment.
Just for the shortfall of that.
Shortfall of that.
The question that was at home was that it's a pre-construction. They don't qualify for the appraised value of the property, and how do they qualify? And the question is, they're going to have to get a collateral mortgage or to get a second mortgage on other properties, so on and so forth.
Or
But
refinance. Our client, he came in $700,000 less
yeah.
700,000?
on a condo downtown. I don't know the project. He just took occupancy. He's predicting a $700,000 shortfall.
What he did?
And he tried to give it to his friend for $500,000 less than a purchase price. The friend's not even taking it. And one of them, I know they walked out.
So let me just for those at home again. So if somebody bought a property 5 years ago for $1.5 million, and today it's worth 1.1 or 2, whatever it is.
He's like a $900.
But the Royal Bank or somebody will give a blanket mortgage. They'll still qualify the 1.5, and then the question is, well, they don't qualify for that. They don't qualify. They would have qualified back 5 years ago, but the rate back then would have been like 1.5 plus the stress test, right? So I'm wondering why they wouldn't qualify today.
But some of them don't qualify. They know they're going to go with the B lender. They're going to go with the home.
Or some people got I don't know, like they didn't qualify in the first place. They had no intentions of closing at all anyways, right? That's hard. That's difficult. That's how do you do that? But anyways. So the rates are down. That's good, but both variable. So today, what's your recommendation? Variable or fixed when first-time buyer? What's the recommendation?
I would say variable.
Oh,
Anybody else?
for a first-time buyer, I would say fixed.
For the difference of 3.9 or 3.7?
I think it depends on their personality and their where the money's coming from and stuff. But for a first-time buyer, just getting, I think, fixed budget, your cash flow, you know exactly. It depends on if they're high risk and they're okay with waiting every month and seeing. That's what I mean. Yeah, 3 year. Yeah, something short, stable. Yeah.
I suggest them go for a fix. I mean, ultimately, as you said, their personality.
Yeah.
At least they know their monthly expenses.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's more important to know their cash flow and what they need to spend.
For an insured mortgage, 369, on uninsured, 389.
Yeah, I think if it's like a dual income, a couple, a little bit of risk adverse, they could do variable maybe, but I really think it depends on the buyer profile. Not an easy one. This is a little article from Warren Buffett. Someone asked the question for young people, so it's kind of related to our first-time home buyers, but they asked him, if you're a young individual investor, you had a choice between buying your first home or investing in stocks, what advice would you give? What advice would you give, Claire? Stocks or house? For a young person?
All the above.
All of, well, you can't afford to do all of it. You can only afford one. You're a first-time home buyer in Toronto. Buffett's advice was, if you knew where you're going to live for the next 5 or 10 years, he would buy a home and finance that over time. If it was somebody that didn't know where they wanted to live, they're very transient, they're moving all around, then maybe stocks would be a better option for that person. But real estate, you know, time and time again has proven that it is a good investment over time. It's not a quick flip, but if you know exactly you're going to be in the Toronto area, you're going to be somewhere, you've got a stable job, you're going to stay there for 10 years, buy a house, especially in today's market, maybe buy a condo. But yeah, some interesting advice. There's nothing wrong with either, though. So especially with your renters, they may be asking you, should I buy or should I invest in stocks? Rent right now is pretty cheap. So I'm reading a lot of renters right now are just going to hang out and rent for a little bit. They're going to wait for prices to come down, and they're happy paying rent. Those people could do stocks in the meantime. Why not? Nothing wrong with that, right? But there's some options, I think, for people.
So I didn't feel the full question. Is these for investors or end users?
The question was related to young investors.
Investors, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody knows the power of leverage, right? So you're only putting 20% down on a property, so your leverage is going to be up. So your cash on cash return should be more on your investment than it would be for stocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depending on rates. And now he's coming from a U.S. perspective where you can do a 30-year mortgage too, so it's a little bit different here in Canada. We have more risks, right? But
Warren Buffett was also asked, so why doesn't he buy residential real estate? Why doesn't he buy real estate as an investment? Why is he always buying stock? And his answer has always been that he's hands-off investor. He doesn't want to hear about toilets, doesn't want to hear about tenants, vacancies, all that stuff. He'd just rather do the stock. He can go in the stock and sell the stock tomorrow. And sell it. It's liquid.
Yeah.
So he does a different take on it.
You're right. So part of that interview, he said, if you're young and handy and resourceful, then definitely go into buying houses because you'll be able to do a lot of the work yourself. Or he admitted that he was not handy at all and didn't want to deal with the toilets or the conversations. But if you were savvy in that area and you're a little bit handy and resourceful, why not? Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah.
There's nothing wrong with. I've had debates too. There's nothing wrong with some tenant paying your mortgage over 25 years. Get yourself a free house. Right. Mm-hmm. So when you retire after 50 years, then you can have a couple investment properties and you're all set.
Yeah. Not to give you more negative news, but just so you're aware of what's happening. We're being warned of now shadow inventory when it comes to condos. We've always talked about the lack of starts, the abundance of condo inventory on the market right now, and now we've got shadow inventory. These are units that have not been sold by the developers. They're waiting, they're hanging on to them, they're trying to bring them back out to the market at a different price. But there's a whole bunch of inventory behind the scenes that is not on MLS, it's not in a database, it's not anywhere. It's called shadow inventory. That's going to start to come out now, and it's going to start to come out at really low prices maybe, or they're going to really diversify and they're going to change it up. But we've got a whole bunch of secret sort of shadow inventory, especially Toronto, Vancouver, that's going to start trickling out soon because the developers are going to start to have to release them and sell them to get their buildings going. So just be aware of that because we're being warned that it's going to actually impact our condo inventory even more than what it is right now.
Going to be sold by the developer?
They don't know. I mean, they're going to have to pivot or do something. It's either going to be sold. I saw about a fire sale. Ada, maybe you know about this. I think it was called The Post in Oakville. Someone did a fire sale one day, crazy sale. I think they reduced the prices. Was it like 40%?
25%.
They come to MLS and they show how much the price drop it has.
Yeah.
then other people, they're gonna be very upset with what.
That's right. So this is why I'm saying this is shadow inventory. They were hanging on to this inventory for a long time, hoping prices would go up. They didn't, so they did a one-day fire sale. I think it worked. They did sell some, but that's going to happen more and more, and your original clients are not going to be too happy about that.
You have a vacant home tax in Toronto?
Yeah.
Does that apply to the builders?
I believe they have an exception. Claire, you might know better. I believe the builders have an exception if they can show that they're trying to market and sell the property. I think there's a certain developer exception on a vacant home tax. We can double check the website. Yeah, no, I think developers have an exception for that. Yeah. Yes.
I'm not sure.
I did read something. I don't know what the parameters are. I think they have to show that they're trying to market it and sell it. Like it's not just sitting there. If you go to the website, there is an exception for that too. Yeah, yeah. But it's there's parameters, there's time limits around it, and there's documents you have to provide as well. But yeah, especially I've heard if you have the property on the market and you're trying to market it, you can show that to the CRA as well that you're trying to sell it. You're trying to not make it vacant. You know.
So a condominium I bought was sold by the builder, and they would have been subject to vacancy tax. There's no vacancy tax at the time, but there was also an HST rebate for somebody buying a unit new. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I bought this place. I went to the CRA to get my $24,000 back, and they said no, somebody lived there before. So the builder lied to them and said somebody lived there.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So
there's the exception.
I shouldn't say lie. Something happened. I mean, after reading all this RICO stuff, who knows what's going on behind?
Honestly, I feel like an angel now compared to what's happening in RICO.
So I'm going to give you an idea here. Just and I don't know if you can take it anywhere or not, but so I'm reading the same article here. In Toronto, they're saying that there's 2,500 units in shadow inventory right now that the builders have that are not bringing it to the market. So there are 2,500 units for sale right now. How many? We had 8,000 condos on the MLS right now. Mm-hmm. So these guys don't want to bring this to the market. They don't want to flood their current their inventory. They're just hanging on to it until something happens, right? Now in the States, they did this back in, was it 2008? When was the meltdown in the States? 2008? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what they did is they did this similar thing. They had all these townhouses and all this stuff. And what the developers were doing, they were selling blocks of 50 townhouses back at the time in the States, in Florida. They're selling batches of 50 at a time to investors. It never made the market. It was all under the table. Nobody knew about it, but they're selling 50 units, 40 units at a time. Not MLS, not anything else. So if you've got a wealthy investor that might want to approach one of these builders that's not selling these things, say, look, I want a client that wants to buy 50 of your units. What's the price? 20 of your units. Just if you've got a client that's in that situation there, because it happened in the States, it could happen here. So I'm sure that if you went to Minto or one of these guys, my client wants to buy a whole bunch of them, there could be an opportunity there.
Do we have the investor here in Canada like that?
They must be still. They must be still around.
I get people come to me all the time saying that this guy wants to buy a $40 million investment property. He wants to buy $50 million. Maybe they read it on Reddit, and some guy, I got a buyer for $40,000, so they're trying to resell that thing. I don't know if they know the individual themselves, but we get calls all the time. Banquet halls.
We had a whole building last
all
week.
the time.
Yeah.
We get inquiries all the time from people wanting to buy stuff.
Might be a little bit less, but yeah, they're definitely out there. They're definitely more cautious and calculated and looking at opportunities. But I think now is where they're going to come out to play. Now is the opportunity, right?
In Vancouver, there's 3,500 units in what they call the shadow inventory.
Mm-hmm. And that's why when you guys have an assignment and you're not allowed to put it on MLS, right? They don't want it on MLS to showcase it.
I noticed I was looking for a client for a townhouse, and Treasure Hill put out their surplus inventory for $1.
As a marketing price, though?
Yeah, just $1. And they have quite a bit out, so I don't know if that's shadow inventory.
Yeah, it would be considered shadow, yeah. They're hanging on to it. And that's freehold, yeah. For $1 as a marketing type price.
They listed them for $1.
Mm-hmm. I still don't think it's going to work. I've been reading on Reddit too. Someone said, why don't we do auction like we do in other kinds? I said, we do have the auction opportunity here, but it doesn't work. Yeah, we have it here. It hasn't worked. People have tried it.
Every auction, there's 30,000 properties there.
They're all available for auction right now. That's true. True. I'll let you do this one. This is your world.
All right, so something happened here is really weird, and
it is weird.
And it's just one article here, but we have to think about this. So I'm not sure if you guys fully understand. Remember when you went to school, they taught you about the land registry system, and then they taught you about the land title system. You're not a new agent there. I mean, no. Okay, you've been around.
Michael's nodding.
Who's the newest agent?
He's the newest.
Oh, you're new as well? Okay, I thought.
This is Amid for everyone. Like, we'll just introduce you now while we're talking about you.
Welcome,
Amid. Welcome, Amid. Amid.
So what the land registry system was the old system, and before you bought a property, the lawyers would have to go back for 75 years and check title, or 50 years, whatever it was, and go back title, make sure there's no break in the chain of title. Remember, they had to go back and go back to the root of the title to find out who owned the property, right? So you remember all that? And then they came into land titles and said, no, this is crazy. Let's the Ontario government guarantee the title, so you don't have to go back 50 or 75 years. Whoever's on title now, under land titles, the Ontario government certifies that that guy owns the property. What disappeared was adverse possession and squatters' rights and things like that, because once the Ontario government guarantees the title, then nobody can take it away. So just because somebody else used that property or squatted on it doesn't mean that it goes back to that guy. There's no such thing as adverse possession under the land titles. So this Supreme Court, so this guy, these people went to the Ontario court. The Ontario court said, no. That property, it's under the land titles. It stays with whatever it stays with, right? So they appealed it and went to the Superior Court, the Canadian Superior Court. The Superior Court voted against it and said, no. These people here have used this property since 1954 and they even chained it in with a fence. They used it themselves. The property, the people that own the property on title was the City of Toronto, and the City of Toronto says, no, that's our property. We're not going to sell it to you. And the government came in and they ruled against the city, and they said, no, these people used it forever, and it's their property now. So that screws up the whole system. This sets a precedent that's completely bizarre. So if you came to me in the past and said, there's some cottage country out north and it's on the land titles and they've been using this road the whole time, can they still use it? I would say, no, they can't. But now with this ruling, now I'm going to say, I don't know, talk to your lawyer.
So I had the question on Saturday, and I said no. It's the same question. And so if Mark B is online right now, I changed my answer to that question now because of this. But I did say check with your lawyer because it was very similar. It was a little path that they had shared for over time, and I said no, it's not. But this was also a tiny little laneway. It was a tiny little play area for their kids, so it was very similar. So this changes, yeah.
So, and then another one here happened. This house burnt down before closing. So the house burns down before closing. So you know that on the agreement of sales, everybody remember who's responsible for the insurance of the day of closing?
Seller.
And the buyer up to?
The seller.
Seller.
Seller's, the day of closing, the seller's insurance covers the property. The day of closing, right? So this house burns down the day of closing, let's say day before closing. So then the buyer has the option to do what if a house burns down? They have three options, right? Well, two options. They can kill the deal completely, get their deposit back, or they can accept whatever the insurance company's going to do. They can close the deal and let the insurance do it. So what this buyer did instead, he said, I'll close the deal, but I want the seller to guarantee that they're going to fix the house completely and it doesn't cost me a penny. And the seller says, we can't do that. So the seller tendered on them and took their $25,000 deposit because they didn't want to close. They changed the terms. So it's a bizarre thing. You follow me there? And then
they tendered to close.
They said you got two choices, Mr. Buyer. You can either not close or you can close with the insurance. The seller didn't want either one of them. Or sorry, the buyer didn't want either one. He came up with a third option. And the third option wasn't part of the deal. So the deal died and they kept the deposit.
So the buyer said.
So now the buyer sued them saying what's going on, and the buyer sided on behalf of the seller. So be careful on those two, right?
Now, Nelson's
So what
point,
the lawyer here said, the article, he said what the buyer should have done, they should have closed the deal and let the insurance company fix the house. Not the seller.
Can he extend the closing?
Only if the seller wants him to.
But who would have been responsible for the repairs? The seller. But seller no longer owns the property as a...
Seller says to you, look, I had a fire in the house. You can either close the deal and accept the insurance money, or don't close.
and buyer's insurance has no play into it. even as
No,
of
the
6
buyer,
p.m.
buyer,
that closing
buyer doesn't
date?
own it. No, it's already burnt down. So you're not going to get fire insurance for a house that's already burnt.
But buyers will still need insurance the
So
first
just so
day
you know, this
of their
happens.
closing.
This happens once in 50 years. So just keep it in the back of your mind. Just say Claire said something with this. Let's ask Claire and Elsa about it. Don't try to figure it out. Just say
Just
if
give us
there's
a call if the
fire.
house burns down. Just let us know when that happens. And it has happened. It has happened.
And I don't know the answer for this one, but I know somebody who did a power of sale on a property. So this is for you to know. If you got any investors that invest in second mortgages, anybody here have a client that invests in second mortgages? You might, right? And then the second mortgage guy starts the power of sale. So chances are, if you start the power of sale, what are the chances that the seller's paid his insurance? 0. So I had a case where somebody took over a property, a second mortgage took over a property. Property wasn't insured. Property burnt down with no insurance. And guess who burnt the house down? The seller who didn't own the property anymore because it's power of sale. So what a mess that was. I don't know what the. All I can tell you is that right now there's a lot in Scarborough that's sitting there with nothing built on it. Probably still fighting about it.
God is responsible now.
What a mess, though. Eh? So imagine. So you got an investor. Think about it. You got an investor who wants to do power of sale. You better tell him. Well, make sure the house is insured. Get your own insurance on the house.
It sounds so common sense, right? Like, I'm going to talk about negotiating a little bit if you want to keep going.
Okay, so Canada Post, just so you know, Canada Post is on kind of a strike right now where they're not delivering ad mail. So if you're trying to deliver ad mail to your farm area,
No, it's coming back. They just sent another announcement after this. It's going to come back soon. It's off right now, but yeah.
Well, it has to. It'll come back eventually, right?
Yeah, no, but I think.
Getting flyers, stupid.
Yeah, no, I think it's coming back sooner than that.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
It's because it's addressed mail. It's only unaddressed. It's not.
No, they used Shoppers Drug Mart. I got it last week.
Well, it probably went out before that.
Who knows?
I just want to talk a little bit about negotiating. We talked a little bit about it last time as well, from you negotiating with your own seller client. So this is now when you're negotiating with a different agent. I think these skills are really crucial right now, and I actually get quite excited when I get to negotiate with the other side. It's part of the fun part of our job, right? We're in sales, we get to negotiate. So a lot of times we hear these things of people being unresponsive. I get this question all the time. The agent's not responding to me. What do I do next? Or they're being condescending. They'll tell you how many years they've been in the business, or they can be aggressive too. So I've heard a lot of younger agents tell me, thank God you're so nice. All the agents I've been dealing with are so mean, right? So these are common words that we hear in the industry, and it's not necessarily what we want to be like when we're negotiating on the other side. But you're only as good as your ability to work with others. So when you're negotiating, you have to really think about the other side. And I'm going to go through some things that you can think about to identify how you can negotiate, but it really does build collaboration with that other agent because you're trying to come together for your clients to get together and come forward with a deal. So things that you can look for, agents have lots of egos, fears, inexperience, lack of training. There's a whole sort of slew of things that can really impact your deal. So when you're dealing with another agent, start with an assessment of that agent. So what's their skill level? Do they understand negotiating theory? How long have they been in the business? What's their level of skill in negotiating, and sort of assess them to kind of make a guess of what you think they may do. What's their negotiating style? Are they collaborative? Are they compliant? Are they competitive? You'll know when you're talking to these agents, you can start to feel their energy, right? So make a sort of a guess with how you think their negotiating style is going to be. And what's their motivation? Can you sense that they're really trying to get this deal done to help their client? Are they driven by ego? Are they looking for the highest price so they can tell the neighbors that they sold this for the highest amount of asking? What's the motivation of that agent? So identifying those things will help you sort of decide what negotiating style you're going to deal with. So here's some different styles of agents that you may encounter, right? So think about these when you're meeting with people. You may encounter the ghost. Do you guys know what the ghost is? I get this question all the time. This one ignores your messages. They give you vague responses. They respond 24 to 48 hours. Senek, you've had this a lot where you send an offer, you don't hear anything at all. And then I'm busy with the kids, I'm putting the kids to sleep, I'll respond. There's just no sense of urgency, right? They just don't care. This is like someone that's not really communicating. So if you encounter somebody like this, the strategy is to stay persistent. So you keep your communication persistent. Switch communication mediums. So if they're not answering your phone call, try to text them. If they're not answering a text, try to email them. Don't make going to their broker the next step. Okay, I get that question a lot. Can I go to the broker of record? Keep trying with them. Okay, so going to the broker of record is not going to help you when you're trying to negotiate yet. Appeal to their self-interest. Use humor when appropriate. So try to get them out of this kind of like ghost phase, and then escalate only if truly necessarily. So if they're really not responding to you, you've got a good offer. Usually when they're not responding to you, it means they don't like your offer or they've sold it already. That's the reality. But if you have to escalate it, then you can escalate it. Another style could be the bulldog. So this is a pushy agent, combative, purely transactional. These are the type of people who say, just tell your buyer this, just tell them, like, you know, they're combative. You can feel it already. Every call you have with them is a little aggressive. So your strategy with working with these kind of people is don't engage in the fight. So don't match that aggressiveness. It's not going to help you. Ask clarifying questions. Stay calm and redirect the conversation to underlying interests rather than positions. Does that make sense? Do you guys experience the bulldog, right?
Underline, sorry?
Underlying interest. So try to get a sense of like, why are they being like that? Are they trying to protect their client? Or is there something that they're hiding? Like what's their actual intention with trying to deal with a person? Like why are they being like that? Then you might deal with somebody called the rookie. So this might be somebody that's brand new. Maybe they sound a little bit nervous. Maybe they sound like a little bit script driven, like they're trying to practice the scripts their brokers have given them. Maybe they're a little inconsistent. So sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off. They're the rookie. So if you deal with somebody like that, lead gently, earn their trust, motivate them with a vision of success. So be that leader in that relationship. Educate through your own professional example. So now is your chance, if you are experienced, to show them what a professional agent is like, and that helps them learn how to be like that with other people as well. You can really help the rookie out too. Take it from a position of learning, and you know, I can help you. Let's work through this together. I know of another agent who's very experienced who will pretend they are the rookie in that situation for strategic purposes. I'm brand new. Can you help me with this? So I know of other agents who turn it around too, who are definitely more bulldog naturally, but can be the rookie depending on the situation. Then you might encounter somebody like the bluffer. So this is somebody who overpromises, bends the facts, creates false urgency. So if you get on the phone with those people, look, my offer is so good. I'm going to send you the offer. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. And I'm going to give you 2 hours and you're going to accept it. And we're going to get this deal done. And they're like overly like confident, right? So when you're dealing with those kind of people, stay grounded in data and realistic timelines, manage your own emotions, so don't get caught up in their over emotion, and don't get swept up in the narrative. Don't get swept up in the sense of urgency and the timelines, like stay in control, right, of your own timing. And then the last one is the performer. So this is somebody who's dramatic, postures for effect, exaggerates everything. These are typically people who have been in the business for a long time. They tell stories, they talk a lot, they like to hear themselves, but everything is like a dramatic, like it's a performance. So if you're dealing with those kind of people, use calm facts, real deadlines, and emotional neutrality to deflate the unnecessary drama. So have you guys encountered people like that? Does it make sense what you've encountered? And do you know how to adapt? Like, can you change yourself? Or do you find your own style kind of overcompensating? What's your experience? I find myself very adaptable. I change depending on who the agent is, for sure. I'm never really that bulldog type of person, so I know that about myself, but I can be very direct if I sense that that's what they're looking for from me as well. So these are negotiating skills that you'll take with you when you're dealing with other agents. You're going to deal with a ton of different personalities. So just things overall, so manage your own emotions, respond, don't react. We had a whole session on that too, so don't get caught up in their emotions. Model what professionalism looks like, so you get the chance to really show people what that looks like in our industry. Ask questions, seek understanding, generate positive emotion, communicate their perspective, and then know when to elevate. When you're really not getting where you need to, know when you need to elevate that. Yeah, a little bit on negotiating. Is that similar to Claire, what you've learned?
Yeah, the Mike Ferries of the world and the Rich Robbins of the world, they want you to know what your own personality is. Everybody done those disc
personality
programs. Everybody knows who you are. You guys, sometimes they're red, blue, orange, green, or sometimes they're drivers, or what's the other? Drivers?
I don't know the codes. There's ENT, INT.
Analytical. Drivers, analytical. Who's the amiable.
Oh, yeah, amiable.
And there's something in between. Anyways, they want you to understand who you are first, and then when you're dealing with that other personality, you got to figure out what's that personality, and sort of understand what the personality is as well, and use psychology to your advantage, right?
Yeah. And you got to like talk it through with the agent. Like I've talked.
Sometimes you do it naturally, right?
Yeah. Of course, you do it. Of course, naturally in time, right? But I've talked to like rookie type agents, and I'll say, okay, like, what's your client like? Do they want a couple sign backs, or do you want me to give you something where they can accept it right away? And I ask them what they want, and they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, my client will listen to me. So you tell me how your clients are, and I'm going to give you what I think. You tell me your clients would appreciate. If they want to sign back a little, I'm going to give you a lower price. Know that we're going to sign back again, or if, you have to talk to them with that, and they get kind of surprised too when you play it like that, because they think that you're against them, and you're really not. You're really trying to come together for your client, right? So, You're going to talk about forms.
Forms, yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
What time is it actually? Sanic, what time is it? Do you know? Oh, okay, yeah, we're approaching it. Maybe I'll save this one then. I'm going to save these then.
Let's just do the trains.
Okay.
Let me do this first, though.
Yep.
Just notice here, just for those people that are doing it, that's fine. Those people who are not doing, this is for you. RICO information guide. People are still getting confused and coming up with work of the realtor. That's long gone, right? It's RICO information guide, and it has to be signed for every situation, leases and buys and sells and everything else, right? So we're still having issues getting those. Don't know why. Not that hard, though, is it?
Is it just long and scary? Is that why it's long? But are you scared to send it to clients, or like?
Some people say that they don't want to give the client ideas. Well, I mean, your client already has ideas. I hate to tell you, so. Right? And just so you know, if somebody says to you, I don't, they come after you, and I don't have my own agent, and I don't want to represent. I want to represent myself. That's the end of the conversation. You're not allowed to give them any more service, right? Like if you want to self-represent yourself, then self-represent yourself. So don't ask me any questions. Don't ask me for any advice. Don't ask me for any suggestions.
This has been one of the biggest changes and the confusions I'm noticing now. It's surprising me because it's not what I thought would be confusing. But before Tressa, you had customer service, and people are still kind of hanging on to that because that was like a very loose way to help somebody and provide a little. That's your phone, by the way. Provide service here. I'm like, it's no one else's.
Go to hell.
No. What was I saying?
Nobody has my cell number, so every time it phones, it's junk.
Yeah, true. So there's no customer service anymore. There is no like loose way to help a client. You're either representing a client fully, or you're representing your own client by helping someone else, but you're really servicing your own client. But there's no in between of customer service. They're repped or not repped. So there's no customer service anymore. I think that's confusing people.
So if somebody's in my office, they got a phone call there, and somebody wants to buy directly from him, and they're bold. I want to buy right from you. Well,
I don't have an agent.
Well, you saw the property through another agent. Doesn't matter. Did you sign an agreement? No, I didn't. I want to work with you. Why do you want to work with you? Because I expect to get a discount.
That's why.
Straight up. So the agent said, that's great. Get your own agent. I'm not allowed to deal with self-represented people. My client won't let me. So.
Yeah, and clients are getting mad when we're telling them that we're not.
Now, we had another one, just so you know, where I'm just going to give you the Coles notes on it. We got a RICO complaint from a buyer because the agent would not show the buyer the property.
Because they didn't want to.
Because they didn't want to.
But also the proper way is because their client doesn't want you to engage in multiple representation. So you've been instructed by your client to not service other clients.
I made that up.
I know.
The reason why, we're being taped. So what I just said, on your Schedule A, when you take a listing, it better say that instructions are, I will not allow you to double in this deal. So you got to have something in writing with those instructions.
But to be fair, so we have multiple rep forms now, and those have to be agreed to when you're about to engage in multiple rep, not when you're like signing your documents and you're prepping for multiple rep. It's okay, we are about to engage in a multiple rep. Do you both agree? And if one party doesn't agree, then you don't have to. Yeah. But we did get a complaint from someone saying that we have to, and that's not true.
No, we don't have to. You don't have to, so, yeah.
Yeah. But be careful, when you get into a weird situation like that, just contact Nelson or I. We can help you with the right forms, because I am starting to see a little bit of a...
So it's a bit of a script. If you're not going to show the guy the property because it's your listing, and they have all the words, you're not going to show this property? No, I'm not. So I'm going to tell your client that I want to see this property, you don't want to show it. All right? So you got to make sure you have the script, right? So in this case, the guy didn't tell him to F off, but he told him to go somewhere else. So,
so that's why we...
So that probably created the complaint,
yes.
Right? So. So you got to be a little diplomatic on the whole thing.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Aiden? Or?
Yeah. You know how on some of the MLS listing at the bottom it says collateral agreement is in effect? Is that what it means? Like to have some agreement with the seller?
The only time it'll say that, and I'm surprised it says that.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I haven't seen that. It used to be the rule said that if there's anything that would affect the commission, then you've got to put collateral agreement in effect. In other words, Mr. Seller, I'm going to list the property in MLS, but I'll allow you to sell the property privately. Sell it privately, I won't charge you anything. That's a collateral agreement.
Could you also have a collateral agreement if you're in a divorce situation and somebody else has an interest in the property, but they're listing it?
Could be, yeah. If you say,
it's anything that you wouldn't know of someone else that has an interest.
Is it to me as a buyer agent? Or?
As a buyer's agent, you have to know that
if there's something else affecting that deal that you would need to know.
Here's what it used to be. It used to be that collateral agreement says if I'm offering, I want a 5% commission, but if I sell it myself, it's going to be 2.5%. That's a collateral agreement. If I sell it myself, I'm only going to charge 2.5% commission. That is a collateral agreement.
So another thing is like.
But what's changed? It doesn't have to be on the listing because it has to be on a different form when you're competing.
Also, that means the multiple offer situation.
Multiple offer situation, and you're cutting your commission in half because you have your own buyer. You have to tell everybody what's going on, right? So and you have to do that anyways. But it used to be the old rules where you'd have to tell them up front you did that, but you don't have to do that now. So collateral agreement just might be that he's going to sell it private at the same time he's got an MLS.
Could mean a couple things, so you just want to call them and ask for details.
Let's see you'll see a lot of commercial stuff where it says brokers protected.
Brokers, sorry?
Brokers protected.
Yeah.
What that means is they'll pay you commission if you bring a buyer, but I'm not signing any agreement with you. I'll pay you commission. If you bring a buyer, I'll pay you commission, but I'm not going to sign a listing agreement.
So you just have to trust them to do it.
Well, you got to have your buyer in your contract. So
your BRA would come.
And your BRA is going to say, I'm going to pay 2.5% commission unless I get it paid from this vendor or seller. If the seller doesn't pay me, you have to pay me.
Like brokers protected means by that way.
Brokers are protected. Your commission is protected if you bring a buyer, but they're not going to.
I was thinking like the builder or developer is not going to give you any.
No, it's kind of it says that they actually are going to pay you commission.
It's the other way around, but they're not going to sign they're going to be self-represented.
Yeah.
Another story again.
Okay, I'm going to go over all the training for September, October, but I thought I'll just quickly rapid fire. These are some ideas where you can get new business. So if you're not busy right now and you're looking for things to do, or you want to come into an office and you're looking for something to work on, I'm just going to rapid fire some ideas for you. These are not new or rocket science, they're just ideas, okay? So the first one is create a common interest or location-specific social media group. This could be a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group. Maybe it's about your neighborhood. It's Pickering Rouge Park neighborhood group, and you make a group and you invite everybody to it, and you start engaging and posting content to that group to try to get clients. Find an agent in the office who's super busy and offer help with their overflow and cold calls. So come into the office, see who's busy, who's running around the office, and who might need some help. Network with industry partners, so going to events like we did in Europe, meeting with different partners, but also networking with people like lawyers, insurance providers, mortgage reps, home inspectors, financial planners, all of those things. Make sure everyone you know knows that you're in real estate. So especially if you're brand new to real estate, make sure everyone knows that you're in real estate. Arrange a seminar. This is good for your first-time home buyers to educate them on what it would take to buy a home or invest in a property. Door knock a neighborhood. Call for sale by owners. They've literally identified themselves as somebody who wants to sell their home and does not have a realtor. Refer others. So partner with a lawyer, mortgage broker, and refer clients to each other. Know the market. So if you're bored and you don't have any clients, come in and learn about the market. So read articles like we just did today, read the market stats, start to learn about the market. Open house like crazy. So if you don't have your own open houses, reach out to us and try to host someone else's open houses. Do an online presence social media audit of yourself and make some edits if you need to. Market yourself. Geo-farm. Claire would love everybody to start geo-farm and farming. Sell yourself apart. So start looking at designations like broker license, accredited buyer's rep. So I know there's a seniors thing. There's tons of little accreditations you can do for training and add things to your name. And then network with agents from other areas, so especially going to other training events. Your goal is to meet other agents from outside of your areas to get referral business as well. So those are 15 things you can do if you're bored right now to start generating business. And then if you're really bored, Caitlin has a whole slew of training programs coming at you once she's fully recovered. So the first one is October 1st. We're doing FinTrack training. I'm not allowed to use words like mandatory because Claire doesn't let me use words like that. But if I could, I would make it mandatory for everybody to come to this FinTrack training. Something so simple that I keep seeing people do is not putting occupations or job titles on your FinTrack. So we do need to know exactly where they work and what they do. It's not enough to just say manager, business manager. So we need to know what their title is and what company it is now. So we're going to go through all that stuff on October 1st. It's going to be virtual this session.
Is anybody here using the FinTracker?
Is that mandatory for pre-construction as well?
Yes.
Because I thought the builder's supposed to do it.
No. So it depends on how your pre-con deal is structured. If it says broker referral form and you've signed a referral agreement, then yes, the builder will do their own FinTrack because all you're doing is referring a client to them. If you have an actual cooperating form, meaning you're cooperating with the builder, you're representing the buyer, introducing them, then that's your client. You need to do all of your proper FinTrack privacy. 90% of the time it's going to be broker referral. So probably not.
So some people put up their hands for FinTracker. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Who else?
I'm about to use it. Don't use it practically, but
Anybody not know what FinTracker is? Don't dare put up your hand. So FinTracker, you just take your phone, you got the app, take your phone, take a picture of the guy's driver's license front and back, and your FinTracker's finished. So, any questions?
So you have to get the job and this and that.
Well, you still have to answer questions.
I find it a little cumbersome, and I find that you're just putting more work on the client. So it depends on if you're okay with that, because a client would fill in their own occupation and all those details. So some will be savvy enough. I'm okay with just regular FinTrack forms personally, but whatever works for your business. I do have some remote clients that I'm going to have to use FinTracker for, because that's the only way to identify them properly, right? So.
Some phones, though, it does pose an issue and won't recognize their face.
Oh yeah.
To like send it to another phone. And
Oh gosh, yeah.
do it, and then it worked for them.
So you have to be a little
depends on
savvy.
the camera and like how.
Yeah.
So your phone has to be up to date.
Yeah, I wouldn't be giving it to my elderly clients and stuff, I don't think. But
Does your client fill out their occupation, or do you fill out the occupation?
They filled it out.
Really? Because that's it. I don't understand that part.
well, because they get a link, remember, right? So they're identifying themselves with their face. They have their own ID. We don't have to say where they're from as long as they give us that information. So that's their way of providing it to us,
I
is
guess
putting it in the app.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think the whole purpose of the FinTrack, I've had other people in the past give the client the FinTrack information, client fills all out and you get it back. Now I'm thinking the whole purpose of FinTrack is to catch a criminal.
Yeah.
So if you give the criminal all the information, well, he's got to fill out the information.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to
You're not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to fill it out, and not tell them.
But
Ask them, you're gonna have to ask them, what do you do for a living? They're gonna-
But you have to ask them anyways, which is semantic, right? So they're asking if they tell you or write it down, what's the difference, right?
the main part of FinTrack is that you're identifying a human person with an ID in person.
But there are so many people, they don't like the idea of like have a face recognition.
So then I say, no problem, let's meet up in person. I'll take a look at it. I'll write it down. I won't record it. Or let's get on a Zoom. But you have to see them in person.
Where it would really work, I guess, is if one guy's in Mississauga and you're out here and you don't want to drive to Mississauga and ID them, then use a FinTracker for that, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Agents are looking at us confused because they forgot that they can't send us a picture and use it from that.
Yeah.
Okay, FinTrack, October 1st. And then October 7th, Richard Robbins is doing a session as well. I think that one you have to sign up for. And then October 8th is when Caitlin's starting her whole back to school series. So it'll be very similar to what she did last year with her own developed proprietary systems for success, but she's going to be going through those all over again. So October 8th is on finding clients. October 15th is what to do when you have that client. So winning over the client, consultations that convert. 22nd is serving clients with excellence, mastering communication. October 29th is building a referral engine, smart follow-up systems. November 5th is the buyer experience from offer to closing, and then she ends it off with November 12th, the seller experience, listing to keys handed over. So she will be doing these virtual. I'm not sure if she's in person as well as virtual, but I know for sure that they're virtual. So that's every week of something in October. So they're all on Wednesdays. So that will fill up a good 2 hours of your day.
Back to school. So.
Yeah, so she's doing this on purpose to let you guys get settled in with your own kids and let them get settled in. And then hopefully October, you're in more of a routine where you can come do your own training. Okay. Anything else? Anything online? Any listings anybody wants to talk about? No? It's going to be a better week than last week? I don't know what happened last week. It was a little bit weird. I'm hoping this week is a little bit different. Michael, even you called it last week. You came, you're like, what is happening? I don't know, because it's not summer anymore and it wasn't just Friday, so I think it's just an off week.
It's not starting off.
Is not? Don't say that. Okay, nothing online? No listings you want to talk about? All right. Have a good week then, everybody.
folks.
See you. Take
Good.
care.